Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency.
I just received my Male Vitality about 3 days ago, and I must say, that was good stuff.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality and getting the day started.
It's not just the Super Male Vitality. All the products at InfoWarsLife.com are simply amazing. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. It took me 20 years of searching the globe to find the deposit of the highest purity iodine available. The new Survival Shield X2 is mined from 7,000 to 10,000 feet below the earth in pristine, environmentally clean conditions. The iodine crystals we use are extracted from an ancient 300 million plus year old deposit deep in the earth. It's the strongest nascent iodine on the market today. It delivers 650 micrograms per drop. Experience the new formula. Experience the ancient purity. Shield your family. Survival Shield X2. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com.
X2 from InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
We want your soul. We want your soul. We want your soul.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Tell us your habits, your facts, your fears. Give us your address, your shoe size, your years, your digits, your plans, your number, your eyes, your schedule, your desktop, your details, your life. Show us your children, your photos, your home. Here, take credit, take insurance, take a loan, get a job.
It was a few months ago, we actually had on the lawyer for the folks in Florida where Bank of America took their house that they'd bought a decade before for $1 million cash. Bank of America never even had a deed before. I'm going from memory. He was even on CNN. They just said they had it and came and took their house. And then they went to court, and the judge said, yeah, there's no deed. You paid for it. You have the deed. The house is yours, or they've got to pay for all the fees. Bank of America wouldn't pay it. So the judge told the police, the constables, go in there and take the money out of their cash registers. Take it out of their vault. That's what should be happening. They should all be arrested, folks, and this would all end. But see, they're above the law. They can run fast and furious. They can run Benghazi. They can turn al-Qaeda loose to let them take over the whole Middle East for Saudi Arabia. And they just think it's okay. They can just, Obama can wave a wand and release prisoners, violate federal law. He can wave a wand and say, bring your kids up here. Now we're going to bring your families up. We're going to pay for everything for you. wave a wand and put veterans on death lists and not give them treatment? It's called dictatorship. It's called government going crazy. It destroys stability. It destroys everything. And anybody that's owned land or owned houses or dealt with stuff, and we've got family land, quite a bit of it here and there, it's a hassle to keep your land. People moving fences, people claiming they've got it, people trying to adversely take it, the fines, the fees, the regulations, title companies making mistakes. I mean, there's a reason a lot of folks don't have land and can't keep it. Being successful, it means you got to stay on the ball. Well, when you get Wells Fargo or you get Bank of America or you get all these companies like he was just talking about, taking houses that were never even there, selling houses 10, 20, 50, sometimes 100 times. But I want you to go back and talk about the bank you just dropped the bombshell on. You mean it's come out in a court case? I wasn't aware of this. I searched it during the break, and there it was in the news. That they're now finding in discovery in court cases that they are actually dummying up documents and sending it back to lawyers to then, it's not just counterfeit, it's not just operating as a state-certified title company. I was thinking about it. It's violating notary laws. It's violating, it's lying to the court. It's perjury. I mean, you're the expert on this. You train the lawyers. What is it? Am I getting it right here, Dave?
Well, you are, Alex, and the thing is, you know, I should put you on my soapbox because you do as equally good a job. You know, the thing is we try to educate, and, you know, the hardest thing is to try to find attorneys that want to stay plugged in. That's been our biggest problem here. And, you know, what I've done is I've set up a chain of title assessment class in Las Vegas, August 22nd through the 24th. You've got to go to cloudedtitles.com to look at it and download this flyer. Not only do I have the 101 version of this class to introduce, I'm inviting homeowners, investors, attorneys for homeowners currently in the foreclosure process. Not only do I have this 3-day class going on, but I also have a panel discussion with 5 attorneys who are coming in from all over the United States of America to share their secrets of how they're winning quiet title actions, how they're getting with prejudice dismissals in banking cases, how they are attacking and opening up cases that literally there was no hope to litigate. You've got to take this class. This is the only class I'm doing this year. This is a 3-day event. You go to cloudedtitles.com and register. I only have about 70 seats available total in the room so that we can maintain some sort of semblance control and make sure that everybody learns. Again, this is open to attorneys. It's not CLE, but hey, you know, you're going to get an education, and you can ask 5 attorneys in a panel discussion what's going on with your mortgage and get answers. This is the only place in the country, folks, that we have actually set this up to make it happen, and it's going down in Vegas. The only way to get the information is to go to cloudedtitles.com to get it. Now, this leads up to my next point. Those of you having issues with attorneys, I've actually been speaking to attorneys right now because you might be a homeowner who's stuck in a rut, who doesn't know where to turn, and you see all these ads or you hear these talk shows and commentaries about attorneys and foreclosure rescue scams. You know, you have to be afraid of that too, and I've even asked several attorneys, you know, to give me some sort of indication. You know, what do you look for if you're a homeowner asking an attorney? You know, you're interviewing one, you want to retain them to help save your house, and you don't want to be scammed. And the top 7 answers were, 1, you should avoid attorneys that make empty promises or guarantee any kind of legal outcome. You need to avoid any attorney who won't give you a straight answer when you ask him what his objectives are for challenging the promissory note. You should avoid any attorney who's not willing to consider to offer to work on a contingency fee or a percentage basis. You should avoid any attorney who wants a sizable retainer, which a lot of them do, and then they want high monthly payments that you could be making to the mortgage company if you knew who you were paying. With this MERS mess, half of us don't know who we're paying, so that's even more of a problem. And then when they want you to make these payments for an undetermined amount of time, this is kind of like, you know, make the attorney making you their monthly annuity. That's not right either. And if they don't explain all the risks involved and they don't disclose all the potential setbacks that you might face, maybe you need to keep looking. This is the problem that we're having right now because, when I was doing this forum in Florida a couple of weeks ago, we actually had an attorney get up and apologize for the way the system was behaving because more and more attorneys are starting to understand that the chain of title is where it's at in litigation, but a lot more attorneys are starting to understand why we need chain of title assessments, and this is what I teach in these classes. Unfortunately, more judges also understand chain of title than they do these securitization issues that are being brought up. And there's more established cases now that are allowing a homeowner to challenge their deed of trust or mortgage rather than the note. So, these are real important, especially in light of the fact that a lot of judges out there still are convinced the homeowners owe somebody. And we have them arrogant enough to say, well, I'll tell you what, you pay me, and, the judge is telling the homeowner, you pay me and I'll figure out who the money goes to. I mean, that's just sheer arrogance on the part of the court, and it's obvious that they are afraid that if they don't rule in favor of the banks, then their 401k that's all invested in financial stocks is going to go down the toilet. And, frankly, I think that's unfounded. I think that, if it drops a few pennies, they'll be lucky. What I'm even more worried about now is what's going to be happening later this summer. My company, DK Consultants LLC, as you know, Alex, we did the Williamson County land record audit. And the last time I was on your show, we explained all of this and how it rattled Mers's cage. Well, I'm going to rattle Mers's cages again. And in addition to rattling Mers's cage, we're also going after all the banks, the servicers, the document mills. DK Consultants LLC has just been retained to do another county land record audit for the purposes of going to the grand jury. And so in this particular audit, this is a comprehensive forensic examination of the land records. And I'm not even going to tell you what county it's in because I'm sworn to secrecy on this. I can tell you it's going to take place, and I have attorneys coming in from all over the country to participate in this comprehensive examination, including, top flight auditors and whistleblowers that have actually been on the ground and have seen this document manufacturing. They are going to actually be participating in this forensic exam to come up with enough information out of the land records to go after the powers that be, including MERS Corp. I won't be happy, Alex, until MERS Corp's doing the perp walk. All their board of directors, I want them shut down.
The problem here is that they've been using in the last decade, as this news has started to come out, especially since 2008, the last 7 years, they've been using the crisis and the crime they created to try to then change law. Instead of following the law and getting in trouble, they're trying to just by fiat have judges and courts and states and the feds change things bureaucratically. Are things getting better now or worse? I mean, in the case of derivatives, that, of course, this whole mortgage thing is part of, to elaborate on it, we know the derivatives is worse than it was in 2008 that we were forced to bail out. So what's the gestalt on that, the current state of it?
Well, no, the current state of securitization is they're still doing it. In fact, they are taking all these rental contracts of all the houses that they've sold to investors, and they portfolioed it into like Morningstar and BlackRock and Carrington Mortgage Services, Alex. They are taking these houses and doing option contracts, basically rental agreements on them, and they're securitizing all the contracts on Wall Street, creating another big bubble. And they know these people aren't going to be able to pay their rent. They're putting people in there they know that might default so that they can go collect on more credit default swaps. And, that's what they do. They turn the derivative into a swap. They bet against it. They know that, they're putting in subprime renters. If they can't pay their mortgage, what makes you think they're going to be able to pay their rent? And as much as they'd like to admit it, the thing about mortgage loans versus rental contracts, a little bit different parameters. Not as much scrutiny for a rental contract, is there? So now we've got an even bigger picture. This is going on Wall Street, unfortunately. And the sadder thing, Alex, is the 49 states AGs had this settlement going on, and all the banks just seem to be ignoring it. The robo-signing is still going on. We're finding constant evidence of it right here in June of 2014. I'm doing chain of title assessments on a regular basis and running into stuff that's being recorded within the last 2 or 3 months, even as the banks are being taken back to court by people like Eric Schneiderman up in New York, the attorney general there. They've gotten Bank of America on hundreds of violations. They've had, hundreds of complaints just within a 6-week period from homeowners in New York State that are saying, hey, the banks are not doing what they said said they were going to do. They're catching him in all sorts of different violations. And so now the AGs are having to go back in and say, well, apparently you didn't understand the settlement issues here. That's going to be a real big problem, especially after we get the results of this comprehensive forensic examination to the table and let the state's attorneys look at it, because I want to see this thing go to the grand jury, and I want to see racketeer influence corrupts organizations involving MERS, who, you know, they claim to be an agent and a nominee for anybody, and they're robo-signers, those 20,000 minions out there. They have a signing agreement with MERS. That creates a nexus or a bond between MERS
exactly,
and
and it's only going to continue.
Frankly, it doesn't do us any good, you know, to sit back and just let this stuff happen.
Sure.
You know, basically because, you know, we can't